What's good? What's good? What's good?
What's good, YouTube? What's good?
Welcome to another episode of Over the Counter Podcast. It's the Good Brothers of OTC back for another episode.
Back for another one. What's this, number 7?
Something like that, bro. I've already lost count, honestly. So I
Hey.
need to go back. I need to go back and look because when I get to naming the podcast episodes, like when I go to upload, I don't want to put the wrong episode number and it'd be all weird. So yeah, I got to go back and check on these numbers. Man, we got a lot to talk about, man. A lot to talk about. It's a lot going on in all different places. And it's all good. It's all good. Some of it, we got some questions, of course. You know what I'm saying? We gonna always pick it apart, be a little critical of it. We got some institutional DeFi, we got AI across multiple spaces. We got market overview, of course, some AI companies to discuss, several things to get into. So, man, let's go ahead and get this started.
But before we start, let me ask you something. Let me
What's
ask you
good?
the personal crypto account. What it's looking like? What it's looking like these days? All time highs, kind of little fallback, little retracement. What it's
Oh
looking
no, it's definitely been a retracement. It's definitely
like?
it's
What's crazy?
definitely been an retracement. No,
My,
I mean everybody's taking a hit, man.
hey,
You used to it.
my stock portfolios do all time highs.
Hey, well, congratulations. But over here in crypto, we hey, we
Hey,
fiddling a little bit right now. It's okay. It's all right. We always bounce back.
okay. Had to ask. Had to ask. Had to see
On
what.
me, nah. I just don't look at it. I just don't check it. It is what it is. You know, um, focused on some other things, but it's all good. It's all good. We'll bounce back. We'll bounce back. But first up, man, we got this Doge SEC investigation. Honestly, this came out of left field. I'm happy. So let me get that out the way. I'm all for this if this is indeed going to happen. But it definitely took me by surprise, mainly because we just changed administrations. Trump is in office, and we have a new incoming SEC chair, I believe. He's like one of the last ones to get confirmed. So we still waiting on that confirmation. But in the meantime, we got Hester Pierce, aka Crypto Mom, you know what I'm saying, leading the charge, it seems like. And then, you know, we get hit with this investigation potentially. What before that, we started creating like task force and stuff for certain things. So it seems like everybody was on the same page, right? And then we get this SEC investigation by Doge News. So I'm a little thrown off, but I'm all for it because there's a lot that especially the crypto community we can help you, we can guide you on where you may want to look.
They get back.
Okay.
They get
And
back.
hey, I think the crypto community, if this is indeed true and this goes through, especially the XRP community, I think they'll be getting theirs back in blood. And I'm
Well,
all for that.
well,
I'm all for that.
when you're dealing with Doge, bro, so we got so much macroeconomic news. I'm never surprised by anything, any headlines that come across my screens, my social medias when it comes to Doge. And speaking about Doge, while we get into it, if any of y'all who haven't went and checked out, it's an official government website, the Doge
Hmm.
website. Y'all need to go to check that out. There's a lot of statistics on there. There's a lot of information on there. Go check that website out. But I'm never surprised by anything that comes out of Doge, and I don't think that it's if this happens, whenever they say something, it seems like it's probably the ball is probably already rolling. And from what we've been seeing from Doge is they're going to act first, deal with whatever fallout comes later. If they get tied up in the courts, they get tied up. But they say they doing it. SEC, get ready. They coming.
It's a long time coming, bro. I mean, it's a lot that went on during, especially during the last, even during Trump's first administration. It
Mhm.
was some stuff related to crypto specifically going on with the SEC. And then that just bled into the Biden administration. So we have, I'd say, at least 6, maybe 7 years of getting acquainted with the SEC.
So I mean,
I'm with it.
we know that, of course, it's been on record at this point that the SEC Biden administration extremely unfair towards crypto,
Hmm.
no regulatory clarity, debanking, all of that type of stuff. Do you feel like if there is any fraud to be found amongst the SEC, what type of fraud or what type of back end deals do you expect to be found?
Oh, all sorts of back end deals. I mean, I'm not going to say any names specifically, but I do believe, and there's even evidence out there. There's evidence that's been presented and everything by John Deaton. He represented the XRP community in the SEC case. At least, yeah, from the community standpoint, not Ripple specifically, but from the community standpoint. And he presented a lot of these types of facts where there's a such thing as ETHgate, and there's nothing against Ethereum, the network, Ethereum, the community, right? It's all about the founders and how all of that was set up, right? And how they were going behind closed doors and certain players were lobbying against every other cryptocurrency, not just XRP, to be securities, but theirs. So when you think about how we've seen the SEC move by regulating with enforcement versus, helping establish clear rules to the road, when you look at how they approached Ripple, the company, and then down to the and impacting the community itself, they did that to every other player. So when you talk about dealing with regulation, and we're all active players in this sector or this industry, and we're trying to do the right thing, we all want to play by the rules, right? But when you are actively being fleeced, I guess you could say, because you're being upfront, you're thinking you're helping establish certain rules that help you abide by laws and think about the entire space versus you, but you're being fleeced for doing the good thing. Man, you already know some back end deals, especially leading back to the ETHgate situation. Making those behind closed door deals to where you essentially make your cryptocurrency along with Bitcoin a commodity and everything else is a security. I don't think the digital asset space can operate at its full potential if it's classified as securities.
Now that you say that, they might have some explaining to do, man, because I mean, even me, you had even a little back and forth in regards to what classifies as a security and what doesn't. And when you look at just the textbook definition, if Ripple and XRP were considered securities, ETH and Bitcoin were not. Why
Exactly.
Bitcoin? Because Bitcoin didn't really have. Bitcoin kind of came out of nowhere, not really out of nowhere, but people seem to act like they don't know who's behind it or anything like that. But for Ripple to be the only one to get that much attention and get that much negative press and that much scrutiny and get held up in court, I could definitely see that. But
I mean, they did library like that. That's a famous crypto company that they were basically the decentralized version of YouTube.
I never heard of that one. I have to look into it.
Yeah, they got knocked off by the SEC. Literally closed doors. Closed their doors. I never got to use library. I've never used it before. Um, but yeah, that was early on in the Ripple case. When that first came about, library had already been going through something and they got knocked off real quick because they were smaller companies, smaller network.
Well, I mean, we just going to see, man. I mean, why they edit? They might as well go check out the DOJ as well.
Hey, they all need to be checked out. Why do we not audit? the government more often? That's my question. Why is the government basically free of being audited? Because they work for the people. We should be able to audit that whenever we want.
Yeah, I mean, that's how it's supposed to be. But I think,
Right.
no, I've said that I think the people have given the government too much power, too much free reign. They're supposed to be public servants, but it's turned into, them being able to make decisions and do whatever they want and, keep the American people in the dark about a lot of things. And, as you see DOGE, move from agency to agency, you're starting to see more and more outrage. You're starting to see, people show displeasure or distaste towards it. But then you have a whole sector of people that are for it. So it makes you think, man, what's really going on in the government? Our deficit is one that can't be ignored. There's definitely something broken in the system. We're definitely spending more money than we're bringing in as a government. So I mean, as much as you may not like it, it's something that needs to happen, and that's why I think everybody should go check out that website because not only is the website showing you what agencies they're targeting, it's showing you where savings can be found. Some agencies
Hmm.
that are already moving in. Go check it out for sure. That's definitely because I went and looked at it. I didn't even know there was a website until Elon did that last press conference, and he's saying like, "Hey, everything we're doing, we want to be transparent. We're not trying to hide anything. I'm not trying to
Right.
hide anything as far as conflict of interest. We're doing everything above board. We're making everything known," which is another point that I was just about to ask you. Do you think it's smart for those to be announcing all of their moves in regards to who they're going to audit? Giving these agencies time to maybe, cover their tracks a little bit, or do you think they should just do it?
I mean, I'm pretty sure something is going on behind the scenes. I don't think they're waiting to announce an audit before the audit has already started. That don't really make any sense to
Yeah,
me. Um, so yeah, I definitely think they mainly announce it to get public support, try and gauge public sentiment, you know, and well, not just sentiment, but it's mostly support. Because if you get public support, then I mean, now you really in the spotlight, whatever agency, you
yeah.
know, they talking about auditing. So um I don't know. I'm with how they going about it. Like when you look at X as a platform, bro, and the fact that you get all this information from all these different agencies, all these different companies and accounts that produce solid information, bro. You really did. I mean, I didn't really see mainstream media talk about the Doge investigation into the SEC.
I think
So
it's fairly new, and it's like not even like 24, 48 hours new. I,
yeah, but I mean, that's breaking news, is it not?
I-
That's
yeah,
breaking news to us,
you would think, yeah. But as soon as I seen it, I was like, "That's big,
bro. That's huge.
that's
That's
big."
huge. So I definitely like how they're utilizing more modern mediums to get their information off. But yeah, nah, SEC audit, huge, bro. That's unprecedented if it actually happens.
The only thing I question about this entire thing is, are they going after the right people? We see the IRS 15,000 supposed to be getting laid off, and we see different employers, federal employees of these agencies being let go, cut, they're downsizing, they're getting outright rid of some agencies. Do you think that just by eliminating the workers or downsizing the workforce, are they really targeting or going after the right people? Because at the end of the day, I mean, yeah, you can cut employees, you can do this, you can do that, but are you going after the people who are actually running these organizations, the shop callers that would be the ones orchestrating the fraud and misspending, or are you just hurting them, or are you just cutting the employees? Because
Right.
that's all I've been hearing about is, are we cutting these people? These people can't get into this and that. We're cutting. Are you actually levying, you know, implications for the people in charge of these agencies?
I mean, Doge, at least its approach seems to be more about efficiency. So when you talk about laying off 15,000 employees at the IRS, that's more so of an efficiency. Like you're overloaded. You're bottom heavy probably. You know. Now when it comes to fraud and that type of stuff, I think that's a little different. Now I do think if their investigations come across that type of fraud and paying people or entities money that probably shouldn't have gotten, especially when you talk about some of these benefits that they trying to budget cut, that type of stuff. Um, I don't know, man. I think on that standpoint, there should be people. Somebody should be going to jail at that point. But that never happens. Now, when you're talking about efficiency, I understand cutting off 15,000 people though, because why do
Yeah.
you need all those people to do whatever job you're supposed to be doing? You probably don't need that many people,
I
and
mean,
you still have enough to be efficient. Because you got to think, Elon, he did the same thing at Twitter. He does the same thing at Tesla. He runs a lean, company. He doesn't really have a lot of fat in his companies, so it makes sense.
yeah. I mean, then if that's the case, yeah, for efficiency's sake, they're doing what they were designed to do. But I just think that, of course, if you want to be more efficient, of course, there are going to be implications. People are going to get laid off. People are going to lose their jobs. But let's not let the fraud, get swept under the rug, because that's the real issue. That's the real reason you're auditing these companies or these agencies, is to find out where's all of this money going.
Right. I'll tell you this. I'll be extremely surprised if anybody goes to jail.
Then what are we really doing this for? Because if you're not actually getting to the root of the issue, which is the root of the misspending, the root of the fraud, the root of the money laundering, then are you actually fixing the problem? Because okay, you got rid of this agency, you took these people out of the equation. We'll just find another way to launder the money. We'll just find another way to.
Right. And that's the thing. Like, there are several government resizing or downsizing type efforts. Clinton did one, Obama did a little bit, I think, at least at first in his first term. And the fraud and the inefficiencies eventually balloon anyway. So in these situations, nobody at the top ever goes to jail. You may have a fall guy, you may have somebody lower down in the totem pole, but the actual person truly responsible and pulling all the strings never goes to jail.
Yeah, I think that's just my
I'd be
only.
shocked if that happened.
I think that's just my only issue with it, because yes, the government needs to become more efficient. We got $36 trillion in debt, but you know, all of the headlines that are coming across is fraud, money laundering, misspending, this and that. And at the end of the day, the employees are just that. They're there to do a
Right,
job. They're employees. They're not the source of it, but unfortunately, they're the fall guy.
right.
They're the ones who are, you know, being impacted. And yeah,
And
it sucks for them.
they honestly just regular people.
Yeah,
They just doing a job, you know what I'm saying? They just trying to collect a check, that type of thing. So
yeah,
it definitely sucks that those are the ones that get impacted, and the people really in leadership at those agencies aren't really, you don't really hear nothing about that. Now, the agencies that have just been completely done away with, yeah, I mean, obviously, leadership at those places are gone. But I'm pretty sure they'll weasel their way back into government somehow, some way. That always happens. So,
yeah.
but yeah, I mean, bro, it's more to come with this SEC investigation situation. Definitely gonna be following this one closely. Especially for me from a crypto perspective, because man, it's a lot. It's a lot within that. It's a lot within that. I know we kind of went off on a tangent dealing with Doge, but it's a lot going on with Doge. It's more than just the SEC investigation. So definitely gonna have to keep an eye on their activities. But I kind of want to transition into, you know, we talked about crypto related to the SEC. Um, and since this new administration change, it's definitely been a different vibe when it comes to crypto. I'll say that from a regulatory perspective. And I'm starting to see a lot of institutions openly move into the crypto space. And I'm talking like big dollars. Uh Products that attract institutional money are being built. Um Not just with institutions, but in a decentralized way. Verifiability, that type of stuff. So um one company that's kind of or one project that's kind of caught my eye is Ondo Finance. They recently partnered with Ripple to bring their um essentially like a synthetic treasury product on chain on the XRPL. So they have this product where you can essentially invest in short-term treasuries on chain, right? And that's pretty interesting because of the fact that now beforehand you really didn't see a lot of products focus on institutions and really have that regulatory standpoint to where it made institutions more comfortable in doing so. But now that we're like really seeing that come to life, I'm starting to, even though crypto prices are down right now, I'm starting to think that, they really not gonna be down for long, bro. I really think that utility bull run I've always talked about, during our conversations is not too far off. Not too far off. Um, so yeah, I mean, we definitely gonna have to see where this goes. Right now, the market is like really bleeding because of the meme coin situation, and I really don't want. I'm gonna try not to rant about that, but
Yeah. Why is the market bleeding because of meme coins?
bro, like all this by now, normally historically, we would be in alt season.
Hmm.
That's where like the XRPs, obviously XRP did its thing, but like every token but Bitcoin usually is like going on the tear right now because you're getting the flooding of retail money right into all these projects. And it's not happening right now because meme coins have all the attention. So you're really not seeing that alt season around this time like we're used to,
Hmm.
right? Because then by second quarter, third quarter, I'd say like middle of second quarter, because all seasons don't last long, bro. These bull runs in crypto don't last long, but they go crazy when they do. You kind of like seeing a sell-off in altcoins and into the end of the year. So we're not really seeing that right now. And I think because of all of the rugs that I'm seeing in meme coins, I really think, a lot of retail they're gonna be kind of antsy about the actual good projects to invest in. And that's really that kind of sucks. Now I do think an alt season will happen. I just don't know how to measure it right now because of how retail they seem to be exhausted with these meme coins.
But I mean, it's so you think that the degeneracy is to blame?
Hmm. It's this, bro, it's crazy. It's crazy right now. Like everybody is focused on getting rich quick when it comes to crypto, and especially if you new to crypto, that's what you're focused on. And that kind of sucks because that's not how anything works, really. Um, and yeah, they're like YOLOing into these meme coins and losing it all.
I thought so. You think the liquidity that would normally have went into the altcoins is being lost to the meme coins?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And the fact that they like losing they bread overnight, I mean, yeah, that would ruin, especially if that's your first entry, that your introduction to crypto, bro. That would leave a sour taste in your mouth.
And you think this is not just new crypto investors, but seasoned ones as well?
To a point, probably. I think seasoned, but they're exhausted. because whatever tokens they've been rotating into trying to catch a green candle, they ain't caught a break. So yeah, I can see that happening too. Um, I think especially with this Libra situation. So if you don't know what Libra is, this meme coin launched overnight, maybe a couple nights ago, and the Argentinian president shared it on his X account, and it essentially rugged shortly after, and the community associated with it or people that invested in it are extremely upset. And he's trying to downplay it like he didn't promote it, but to a lot of people, that's promotion if you share it on your account. Um,
Is that not?
I mean, I would look at it as promotion personally because if I like or I retweet something
Your
and I have a following, that's going to be shared with other people that are following me,
he knows that.
right? And if they see that I retweeted it, they're like, "Oh,
It's
well,
legit.
if he's sharing it, or even if it's not a retweet, if you like share a link to something, I mean, how are you not promoting that?
You just gave
How are you
legitimacy.
not giving it? Yeah, how are you not giving it legitimacy in any type of way? So to me, there should be some type of repercussion because when as we evolve with these social media networks and how they're being integrated into politics and everyday life and that this, that, and the third, bro, your digital presence is real life now. Like you really got to think about what you share online now because of that. Can't just be sharing random stuff.
Yeah, I feel like until someone of status, I mean, really, really, really gets real implications behind these meme coins, it's going to continue to happen. Nobody's going.
What
It's
do
a
you consider real implications? Because Kim K, uh,
jail,
Floyd Mayweather,
jail time, not a fine. You're talking about people who are ultra wealthy. You slap a couple $1 million. That's nothing.
right?
Jail time. You see
Hey,
somebody like Kim Kardashian get put in jail for a rug. You think other celebrities are going to try that? No, you got to make an example out of somebody.
Meat Mill.
He a
Who
goofy.
else?
Yeah, that's better than me. That hot tour girl.
Yeah, hot
They
too.
have people they could have easily made examples out of. It don't have to be somebody just like crazy. Anybody with a name.
Logan Paul. Like, I mean, they've bro, and that was usually part of the cycle. I have not really hot tour girl. That's the only one. And maybe this Libra situation. Oh, and, okay, okay, yeah, we have seen it this cycle. We have seen it this cycle. It's always a part of the cycle where you see big names pump or hype up a certain token, right? Like a couple years ago, it was Elon Musk with Doge.
Mhm.
And then you have the celebrities that do the scam tokens, like Kim K and Floyd. They did Ethereum Max. Like, what the hell is that? And then you got Logan Paul doing his own thing. Meek Mill did his own thing. Like, so many people, celebrities have done these like scam related tokens. And then this cycle, you have Haktua, you have Trump, right? You have Libra, which it's not even like tied to a big name, but in a way it is because the Argentinian president shared it. So
That's
now, in a way, that's promotion. That is promotion, right? So yeah, that's always part. This is always part of the cycle. The crazy thing about this is people get ate up every time, and they never. It's like they never learn. They never learn.
I think it's just important for people to realize that when you're dealing with meme coins, 9 times out of 10, the average person is not getting in early enough. And
No,
you have to be an insider or you have to be in a very, very, very probably exclusive in the know telegram group, something like that has insiders in it to even have a chance to be able to make the money that you guys are trying to make. So with that being said,
But not even that though. Like what's happening on Solana? Because all these meme coins are spawning on Solana. Let's just throw that out there, right? Solana got some other issues too that we ain't really got to get into, but right now it's known as the meme coin chain. That is the meme chain, right? That's where all these meme coins are spawning. What's happening though, bro, is like they're not even able to but like these people, some of these people are making like bands. They making some bread. But they can't even swap out of it because the liquidity pools don't have enough liquidity to facilitate the trade.
I know.
So,
Before, before. Got him hit before. I know.
bro, so it's like there's so much that the retail investor clearly doesn't know about crypto to where it's like, should you even be dabbling or gambling, because that's what you're doing,
Mhm.
in meme coins,
No,
risking it all?
we talked about it before. You have people asking about meme coins. You don't know. You don't even know what Solana is, but you want to buy a meme coin that's on chain.
Right,
You don't have a
right.
phantom. You don't know what Phantom Wallet is. You don't know how to transfer the Solana that we tell you to go buy to this or that. You don't know how to do any of that, but you just want to, jump into the meme coins. You don't know how to enter
Right.
a position. You don't know how to exit a position.
Bro, and that's why I don't answer DMs like people who know me, like not just some random person on X or anything, but people who actually know me when they message me and they DM me, they ask me how do they buy a meme token? Bro, I'm probably not gonna tell you. I'm probably not gonna answer that DM. I'm just not the one for that, you know? Because sometimes, not all the time, sometimes it's like you kind of get blamed in a halfway for it, even though you didn't buy it yourself, you didn't recommend it, any of that. They're just mad at the fact that they lost bread. They know you're really into crypto, and so like they try and come at you for that. And it's like, bro, I really don't have time to help you lose money. That's not my game. That's not my game.
Yeah, I mean, it's unfortunate that we live in a time of prize picks and people want fast
Yeah,
money, quick money, easy money. People don't want to spend the time to learn fundamentals, actually watch companies and read white papers and actually, do the boring stuff. People want that adrenaline rush. They want that quick money. They want to, wake up thousands of dollars off of 100. That's
yeah,
just the time we in, the time we live in, man. I don't think you're ever going to get. And unfortunately, when it comes to crypto, that's the type of thing that the masses love when you talk about crypto. Even I talk to people every day, and when they talking about crypto, they're talking about a Doge or a Trump coin or this or that. And some of those people have made a lot of money off of Doge, so a lot of people made a lot of money off of Trump coin. So it's hard to tell them, hey, what you're doing is wrong when that's all they know. And especially if they got lucky enough to make any type of money off of it. And then they're telling other people that don't know. It's just a crazy spot. Just a crazy spot to be in. I think,
right. I mean, if you're lucky enough to make life-changing money dealing with especially this round of meme tokens, hey, more power to you. I'm never gonna hate on that. It's the regular retail individuals that get burnt because they don't really know what they're doing. And then they get on X and all these other platforms, TikTok, and they complain like the entire space is a scam. Like I don't know. I think I shared it. He responded. I posted this dude who lost who's been taking L after L after L on meme coins and putting it on TikTok, and he like crashing out. And it's like, bro, when do you stop? When do you chill out? And if you're into crypto specifically, why not look at legitimate tokens? Why do you keep chasing the memes and then get mad when you get burnt? I don't understand that.
yeah, I don't know. I think the most I've ever thrown at a meme coin is maybe max $100. I'm not
Right.
throwing any significant money in, and to be honest, most times when I have thrown a little money in, I've never expected anything crazy.
Nah.
I knew it was a gamble. I knew it wasn't something serious at all.
Right.
It's really just for that, adrenaline rush. Yeah, you're just doing something, but
Right.
people take it serious, man. They putting life savings and significant money in into these meme coins, and yeah, they getting killed.
Bro, I'm hurting for him because it's like I could never make a play like that on a meme coin. But that's the thing, man. If you gonna do it, if meme coins are your thing, know what you're getting into. Understand the risk. Don't get burnt a few times and then call the space a scam. No, sir. Everybody has that section or those groups of people that they call degenerates.
Yeah,
Meme coins, that's what those are for. Okay? They are crash dummies. They understand what they're getting into. If you're gonna be a crash dummy, understand what you get yourself into. And okay, cool.
don't tell me Bitcoin ain't got no intrinsic value, but you go invest in Comcoin, but you can't go put no money in Bitcoin. No intrinsic
Fam.
value. Come on, man.
And some of these names, it's like
This is
y'all wild, bro.
you
Y'all crazy.
smart coin. And you thought it was
Yeah.
yeah.
Like, come on, bro. Come on, man. This whole Libra situation, how fast it got rubbed, like the fact that only the insiders made bread off of it, that just proves my point on how nasty the meme coin scene is. And unfortunately, that's mainly happening on Solana, but that's not just a Solana issue. That's meme coins across the board, bro.
Yeah.
That's meme coins across the board. So, hey, if you're gonna, like I said, if you're gonna be a crash dummy, just know what the requirements of being a crash dummy come with. That's it,
Crash carefully, man.
man.
Crash responsibly.
Crash responsibly.
Because I've
Like,
crashed a couple of times responsibly though.
hey, sometimes because that's the nature of the game.
Yeah.
It's sometimes you crash out, hey, and that unfortunately,
Risk
yeah, you got to move on. You got
risk
to move on,
risk tolerance and investor identity. You
man.
know,
Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. But I don't know how we got off on the meme coin tangent because I was definitely talking about institutional DeFi. But no, I really have been peeping institutional DeFi becoming a hot thing. I think it was me and you talking in private. I definitely said institutional DeFi would be a big thing in 2025.
yeah, I
And that
mean,
was before 2025 even kicked off.
yeah, I mean, you've talked about that really. I think the first time I can remember since 2020 for real.
Yeah, bro, that's really when it first came on the scene because I mean, of course, you talk about banks coming in, this, that, and the third, but like when you really pay attention to when you really not necessarily pay attention, but when you learn the types of products and capabilities, security, guarantees that is required for institutional DeFi to come in, that's a whole different game. So now you paying attention to certain things that you may not have paid attention to before. A lot of people have tried to dunk on Ripple over the years. Call it, like say the XRPL is centralized mainly because they're trying to get at Ripple or whatever. But you can say what you want to say about Ripple and XRP, but you cannot deny these big money moves they making. And it's not just for the benefit of Ripple because I don't know if there's going to be a KYC requirement or anything like that, or you got to be I hope they don't start introducing accredited investor limitations on blockchain. I will flip over this table if they start doing that. Because the whole idea for blockchain now, mind you, there will be permissioned blockchains. I get that, where banks and institutions only want to interact with each other, right? But for the broad majority of institutional DeFi, crypto, DeFi in general, I do not want certain. things like accredited investor limitations. And I hope this meme coin situation ain't how they introduce that type of stuff, because that would piss me off.
I think it'll come. I think
I
it'll.
mean, it's the whole reason why I hadn't really dabbled into traditional finance. You got the best opportunities are locked behind the wall of being an accredited investor.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned some of the hottest companies in the game right now as far as AI. You know, your Andurils, your Open AIs, your Databricks, private.
Right. Private equity. Can't can't even think about it unless you make a certain net worth.
It ain't even a money thing because we've heard people that are very rich say they still can't get in those rooms.
Bro, there's platforms you can go to. There's a difference. There's platforms you can go through that sell pre-IPO shares. There's just a different verification process, right? You have to be a verified accredited investor. And if you go through those platforms, then you can purchase those shares. You don't necessarily have to be in them rooms.
Yeah.
If you're trying to be in the room, you might be on something different. Like, I don't know if that's seed round or anything like that, but if that's what you're trying to do, then yeah, you may have to be in that room, and that's not really how it go. Now, for regular people who ain't trying to be in that room, this, that, and the third, then yeah, there's platforms you can go through to buy pre-IPO shares. You have to be an accredited investor.
Yeah.
So I don't know, man. I just hope that they don't start introducing that type of stuff, because some of the stuff that they're bringing on chain or creating products for, specifically targeting institutions, I would be interested in. Like the whole situation with Ondo and Ripple. I think being able to invest in short-term treasuries and be able to earn a stable, consistent yield like that, bro, why wouldn't I? When I'm not trying to have all of my money that's out working in high risk investments, high risk plays, I'm just trying to take something that's, low, medium risk. I would do short-term treasuries. But to be able to do that on chain, bro, that's amazing. And then you can introduce certain other primitives that are available on blockchains like staking and stuff like that, to where you're able to do more with that asset, right? Just simply being able to do more with that asset. Maybe I want to loan out my investment related, that's in short-term treasuries. Maybe I want to take out a loan against that investment and use it as collateral. I can do that on chain, but I don't know if I can do that in traditional finance, especially being considered a regular retail investor. Blockchain should be able to open up certain opportunities like that. So I hope that's it. I'm definitely interested in that, but um, more to come on institutional DeFi, because we got a lot of stuff going on within that. So
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. We'll see what's going on, man. We'll see. Got a lot
right,
of changes coming on. Your cryptos are David Sachs and all of that stuff. I think we'll see a lot of changes over the next 4 years. We'll see a lot of changes. So I think we'll get a better roadmap as to how that will kind of pan out.
right, right, right. But pivoting off of that, I mean, crypto is definitely a hot topic for sure, especially with this new administration with Trump. But so is AI. You know what I'm saying? And AI is everywhere. It is quite literally everywhere. Everybody's talking about artificial intelligence, integrating it with their systems to one degree or another. AI has several implications across not just crypto, but traditional finance, and traditional companies that are building artificial intelligence infrastructure, things of that nature. So yeah, I mean, then there's energy too. There's definitely energy implications. A lot of tech companies, um they seem to be more interested in nuclear power specifically. So I mean, what you think about that? I mean, this whole new focus on AI, we knew it was coming. But this whole nuclear energy aspect of it is kind of new.
Yeah, I mean, when you're talking about AI in general, a lot of people get caught up on, our big tech companies, our Microsofts, Googles, Amazon. Of course, everybody's into AI, and then you have your semiconductor chip stocks, your
Hmm.
TSMCs, your ASMLs, your Broadcoms, NVIDIAs, AMDs, ARMs. You have all of that. But a lot of people don't stop to think about what's actually powering the data centers, the infrastructure, because you need the data centers to be able to power the AI. So it's all one big web. So when you're talking about energy, in order to do what we plan to do with AI, in order to have the infrastructure that we plan on having, you have things like Project Stargate, and you have companies like Meta who are announcing $60 to $65 billion in capex spending on things like data center infrastructure and GPUs. You're gonna need a lot of power. A lot of power. Currently, we have 94 nuclear plants in the United States. And we have some that are not active. But one thing that's been coming up is something called small modular reactors. Now, in those 94, you know, nuclear reactor plants, the conventional reactor plants that we have, those are already powering things like our homes, our local communities, and there's not enough power to go around. So when it comes to AI, data centers, the infrastructure, nuclear power is not only something that's becoming more and more popular amongst companies. You have companies like Microsoft, Google, Amazon starting to invest big money into nuclear, into small modular reactors, because we're going to need a lot of energy. And nuclear is a way, for one, it's a 24/7 cleaner, smaller footprint source of energy as opposed to, wind turbines and all of that kind of stuff. That wind turbines and solars, there's no wind, you're not getting that power. There's no sun, there's no sunlight, solar's not, those are intermittent sources of energy, whereas these nuclear power, 24/7 clean source of energy. So that's why you see a lot of these companies starting to turn to nuclear and small modular reactors. So when it comes to, let's talk about the conventional reactors. Have 94, they're giving you 700, they're giving you 700 plus megawatts, and then you have your small modular reactors that are giving you up to 300 megawatts. The modular reactors, they're cheaper, but they don't give you as much power.
So, what type of companies are trying to use the modular ones, but
Okay.
they're trying to produce these large language models, or you
So
use it for AI in general?
you have Amazon, Google, and Microsoft that are all on a record, setting up partnerships to, and not only setting up partnerships, but have already made investments into small modular reactors.
But
Start,
wouldn't you say those are big enough companies to where why would you need to use small ones? Because they give in less power. So what's the use case? Do they
the
not feel like
the conventional reactors, not only do they cost a ton of money, they take a lot of time to set up the infrastructure and to produce. And not only that, you need more, not bandwidth, but you need the land and the area to be able to do that. Now these smaller
right?
modular reactors, they're already building these data centers out in the middle of nowhere. These small modular reactors, they can build those out on site, kind of next to the data centers, and get that additional power that they may need, versus us only having 94 nuclear power plants currently. You would have to build those data centers kind of close to that, and then you have to deal with, trying to tap into that. You're messing with the power source from the homes, the local communities. So these small modular reactors is kind of just it's a more flexible way to bring the power to where they're trying to build the data centers, and they
Gotcha, gotcha.
get the power faster and cheaper. You're just not getting access to as much power as a conventional nuclear power plant.
Gotcha. So, what do they draw from now? Do they build their own power grids, or do they tap into the nearest local power grid or whatever?
They're tapping into current power grids, and that's the issue. It's not enough power. It's
Ah,
not
and
enough to
that's
go around.
that's mad taxing, I'm sure.
Yeah, it's not enough to go around, and I think that's why you have, not really scrambling, but you're having these big tech companies like, hey, we need this power. We're trying to put this investment into AI infrastructure, data centers, and we need the power. So,
Hmm.
what can we do to get that power, as quick as possible? And when looking at some of these timelines and some of the money that these companies are putting in to small modular reactors, you see small modular reactors starting to come on board as early as 2035, 2040. So even with the small modular reactors, the timeline is still, you know, a little far out. They can't just throw these things up in a couple of months.
Right. Right.
So
So, I mean, yeah, you're getting it quicker, but you still got to be able to build the infrastructure for it and
yes.
get it going. So, that's definitely interesting because, I mean, I think I just saw it just in passing. Tech companies becoming, the first story of a tech company looking into using nuclear power. And that's pretty big. I mean, you definitely want these data centers, these AI models to be running on clean and efficient energy because mostly because they're going to be using a lot of it.
Yeah.
So if they're not running efficiently, but a tax on energy and they're not really being clean with it and they're producing a lot of waste and this, that, and the third, that can become a huge problem. And obviously, artificial intelligence is at this point, it's a matter of national security on whether or not, we lead the race on this. So you definitely want to be able to operate on all cylinders when it comes to having a well built, efficient energy supply and energy infrastructure to run these data centers and artificial intelligence related components.
Yeah. So I mean, and the thing with that is we got 94 reactors, 53 plants operating in 28 states. And we're building data centers at an accelerated rate right now. You have Project Stargate, they're starting to build out, their infrastructure out there in Texas, but they're actively looking for other locations. And then you have all of your big tech companies actively looking for locations. So when you're talking about, the AI being accelerated, the data centers, the infrastructure being set out, you're going to need, as an investor, you're going to need to be looking at, okay, if we know nuclear power is how they plan to, supplement this energy demand that we have, how can I give my portfolio exposure to that? So after doing some research, there is a fund called XLU. And in that fund, this is a utilities fund. It holds a lot of different utility companies in the United States. You have Next Era Energy, Constellation Energy, Southern Coal, Duke Energy, Vistra, American Electric, Sempra, Dominion, Exelon, companies like that. And you may say, okay, what do these utilities companies have to do with nuclear? Well, I just told you that we have a limited amount of reactors and a limited amount of plants. When you look at the holdings, all of the top holdings have exposure to nuclear plants or reactors, except for two, the American Electric Power and the Sempra. So by investing in this utilities fund, XLU, not only is this a defensive play, because when we have economic downturns, utilities tend to not perform better, but they're less volatile. You're not going to see them get a lot of these big drops like you would see in your tech companies, like you would see in your semiconductor chip stocks, like we had with DeepSeek, or like
Mhm.
have when you have a company announcing more capex, or you have these different things happen, these different macroeconomic events happen, you see tech get hit really hard. Well, you want to hedge your portfolio and give yourself exposure to not just the AI, not just the tech companies that will be using the AI. You want to give your portfolio exposure to what's going to be powering the infrastructure, what's going to be powering the data centers, and that's going to be nuclear. How can I invest in nuclear? Through things like XLU, investing in the utility companies that house, operate, and own the nuclear plants, the reactors. And you will get that exposure through a fund like this. So I just want to tell people about that because we see a lot of people talking about semiconductors.
Right.
A lot of people talking about, of course, these big tech companies, but you don't see many people talking about, you know, the energy demand and how that will be met and how that correlates with AI and what we're trying to do in regards to technology.
Yeah. Now, I think, yeah, when we were talking early on, and I had mentioned that I think energy was going to have a huge next 4 years, you know, it wasn't just from the standpoint of getting back to building infrastructure for like drilling and stuff like that for oil. It's just in general. Like when you look across the board at technology, people think that this so do you I don't I guess people don't think through the whole process because what do you think this tech runs off of? When you plug your phone in to charge at night, what do you think is pulling from? Right?
Well,
Like running your computer, running just any of your common everyday items, it needs power. So when you think about artificial intelligence and all these other things, these data centers, they need power and lots of it. So yeah, energy in general across the board, I think, is like I said, gonna have a huge next 4 years at the very least.
yeah, I mean, looking at this is just a quick stat. The data center consumption is expected to more than double in the next 3 years.
That's crazy.
So if you're expecting that much energy consumption, and we're living in a time where we're trying to protect the earth. You see things like what's going on out there in California, and
Right,
you have all of these people who want to protect the earth and find cleaner sources of energy. Nuclear power is it gives you the best of both worlds. It's going to give you that and allow us to power the technology that we're going to need. And you just got to you got to have exposure to these type of things because, like you said, a lot of people don't think about what's driving, what's actually driving the thing. They get caught up in what's in the headlines. We
right,
see the semiconductors in the headlines. We see the companies in the headlines. We don't necessarily see nuclear in the headlines.
right.
You know,
But how much research has gone into nuclear research and development? Because my follow-up question is how reliable is our current infrastructure for nuclear for us to be pulling from it for huge, use cases like data centers and these AI companies, these tech companies.
well, currently from the research I've done, that is one of the you know speed bumps or limitations, as you will. We don't have enough. We don't have
Mm,
enough nuclear plants. We don't have enough reactors. And that's the reason why, you see them turning to, okay, how can we get this additional power faster? And that's where you see the small modular reactors coming into play. We don't have any small modular reactors currently operating in the United States. So this is something that will be fairly new. So that's why you see a lot of these companies, Google, Microsoft, turning to, okay, we're going to start putting money into these small modular reactors because we need this additional power. We need it, at a cheaper cost, and we need it fast, faster than you would get a traditional reactor or conventional reactor.
right. And even though that's definitely on the, like you said, the macro level, because that's supply side, right? More so on the demand side, and different use cases being developed. Blockchain definitely has several use cases available to explore for related to artificial intelligence. Um, and I just wanted to highlight, a company. I've talked about this company and this network quite a bit. My main YouTube channel has several videos related to it, but Flare and Google Cloud have a AI hackathon going on coming up here in a short few. And I just think it's very interesting at what they're trying to build, because when you look at how AI has been attempted to be implemented in the world of crypto, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. A lot of scam. It's like a buzzword. It's nothing truly leveraging AI one, or truly bringing AI on chain that solves a problem. Otherwise, you're just using AI just to use it. What benefit are you really providing using artificial intelligence versus just forcing the artificial intelligence moniker. So Flare and AI and Google Cloud are bringing AI on chain with some of these hackathon tracks, and I just wanted to highlight some of them because I think some of these use cases, especially when you think about not just blockchain but Flare in particular, because of their native data protocols, they do everything in decentralized way. Um, it's very interesting. So one of them that kind of caught my eye is this RAG knowledge system. So RAG stands for retrieval augmented generation, right? So when you hear that, think of like a chat GPT or something, right? So what I find interesting about that is, unfortunately, chat GPT is a centralized product. OpenAI, they built that product, they manufacture that product, they run that product, they maintenance it. Um, and their data sets are very much so centralized and limited as well. So if you could basically build a decentralized chat GPT with multiple different models that can be verified, instead of just trusting that the model chat GPT is using is giving you correct information, but being able to verify that that model is accurate somehow, some way, I think that quite literally changes the game. I think that would be the true chat GPT um, contender, like rival, basically just a decentralized version of ChatGPT. So I'm looking forward to something like that, because I definitely think it'd be a lot more powerful being able to pull from multiple different data sets, all verified. You don't have to worry about biased data sets, anything like that, right? Which is going to be pretty powerful. And then they're looking at bringing AI into DeFi, or decentralized finance. So there's this project on Flare right now called Kinetic. They teased using an AI agent. So as SparkDex, another product, um, being able to use an AI agent on their platform, right? So a certain use case that they've kind of talked about, at SparkDex in particular, at least, is essentially telling the agent what type of trades you want to make, or how much liquidity you want to stake in a pool to start earning trading fees. Being able to essentially use it like a prompt, and then the AI agent goes out and performs the actions for you. I think that would take a lot of the complexity out of getting into DeFi like we see now. Because a lot of people, they don't know, or they're not, mainstream. I don't expect, unfortunately, even though I think it should be required. They don't know how to make a swap or a trade. They don't know how to balance a pool and then stake, right? So if you could just tell an agent that that's what you want to do in a particular pool or in a particular product, and it goes out and it does it for you, bro, that helps onboard so many more users just by making it simple.
Yeah.
So, and there's a couple other ones like a social AI agent, autonomous AI agent that can interact with social media, and then something that Flare has coined themselves called consensus learning. which is basically a system that achieves consistent learning across multiple AI models. So being able to, I guess, learn from multiple models at once and come to a consensus based off of those AI models and being able to verify those inputs. Absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. So I definitely think this is going to be a game changer based off of what we see coming out of this hackathon. I definitely think this is going to inspire uh decentralized AI, it's particularly on Flare, but for the industry in general. Because like I said, a lot of AI right now, the way it's implemented, it still relies on centralized infrastructures one way or another. And that's really not solving the problem that AI has. So I think Flare, Google team, a company like Google Cloud, bro, like Google being involved with Flare, trying to bring AI using their blockchain infrastructure, their data protocols. Obviously, Google is a huge infrastructure company, right? Um, with their cloud servers, in particular Google Cloud, their infrastructure on that side, being able to use that compute, talking about verifiable off-chain compute. All of these things are huge. And if Flare is able to achieve it, bro, they do something that nobody's ever done before. They've already been doing it, but doing something like as big as AI, I mean, that's why I always say, bro, don't always pay attention to price. This tech stack is crazy. That's all I gotta say. That's all I gotta say. This tech stack is crazy. So I'm
Yeah,
looking forward to it.
yeah. I'm interested to see more partnerships with Flare and how they go
Yeah.
about, partnering with other AI technology, softwares, other companies. Google's a good start. Google's definitely a good start. And I mean, and if they're partnered with Google, that's I mean, Google got they arms in a lot of different things in regards to AI. So we'll see how
Yeah.
it goes.
Yeah. I mean, there's plenty of stuff going on too, but I really wanted to talk about Flare in the vein of this verifiable AI hackathon. Um it's gonna be huge, man. I'm really excited to see what comes out of this. I think a lot of people they obviously they don't know about Flare, but I don't think even people within the community are putting enough weight behind what this hackathon could do. So I definitely wanted to highlight that. Um, but yeah, I mean, transitioning, and we talked about Flare from the blockchain side, with the AI, artificial intelligence, stuff like that. But there's definitely some AI companies that you might want to highlight on the traditional finance side, semiconductor stocks, anything like that that you want to highlight.
Yeah. So when we're talking about my my favorite top five, no particular order, my top five favorite AI companies right now. And I'm not going to go too in depth on in these companies. Some of them you should already know, some of them are still private, but I'm going to have a YouTube video on my main channel kind of going into depth a little bit about these companies and why they're my top five. But number one, of course, is going to have to be NVIDIA. That's the darling child, kind of the brains behind the operation. They're powering the GPUs, data center CPUs, and everybody, all roads lead to NVIDIA. Everybody needs their compute. Everybody's using their semiconductor chips, and NVIDIA, of course, has to be one of the big ones. And then you have Palantir, which is a data software company that uses AI. Pretty much, they use AI software in order to, how would I explain it? They use AI software in order to take data and transfer it into intelligence that companies, governments, they have a lot of military contracts. They can take that data, they can transfer it into real world usable intelligence, that can be acted upon, that can be used to make, whether you're talking about a government or a company, more efficient. They're using it in hospitals and things like that. So Palantir is definitely one of those big ones, and they've got a lot of attention as of recently. They've ran up crazy. They had earnings back in, what was it? Earlier in what was it, February 3rd? I think they did earnings maybe.
Yeah, earlier this month. Yep.
Yeah, February 3rd they had earnings, and when they did earnings, they were around like 83, $84. Now they're trading at what, $119 as of Friday's close. So Palantir is one of those companies that, they're having their time right now. They had a big 2024, having a big 2025. So definitely look into Palantir if you haven't. And then of course OpenAI. Everybody knows OpenAI, ChatGPT, GPT-4, Dolly. They're pretty much, they were, I don't know about you, but they're pretty much, what introduced me and a lot of other people to large language models. You
Oh,
know, OpenAI, as
yeah,
far as
yeah,
masses,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
that, and of course we hear OpenAI, they're getting into a lot of things. They have, now he's next to Trump. You have them engaged with Project Stargate. They're getting a lot of funding. We hear about partnerships and deals that they're working out. So OpenAI is definitely one of my favorites. That it's not publicly traded yet. Definitely waiting on that. That's definitely a company that I see, kind of powering things and being a force over the next 5 to 10 years. And then of course you have Anduril, company that I've been talking about for a few months now. They are pretty much an AI powered defense systems company. They also dabble a little bit into surveillance. They're getting a lot of government contracts. They're making things from drones to all type of stuff, man. They have their Lattice platform. They uses computer vision and sensor fusion to provide real-time battlefield intelligence. You know, they're just doing a lot. They're doing a lot. And the real definitely one of those companies. If you don't know about them, look them up. They are private as well. And the CEO or the founder of Anduril is actually who made, what is it? It's called Oculus, that was sold to
Mm.
Meta. He created that, sold it to Meta. And now you see him heading Anduril. So this is a very big company, a company that is generating a lot of money in private funding, and it's definitely one of my favorites. And then you have Databricks. Now, Databricks is another AI company developed. They have their lakehouse architecture, merging data lakes and warehouses for streamlined machine learning. And this is a company that, you have other big companies like your Googles and your Metas. You have these companies kind of implementing Databricks into what they have going on. This is another company that's of course private, but Databricks is another big one. Again, I'm gonna go into a lot more detail on these in another video, but those are my top five. My top five AI companies, some private, some publicly traded. But I think these are companies that are playing a massive role in regards to AI, multitude of different ways, whether it's software, whether it be military defense, whether it be semiconductor chips. You know, I think this list, large language models, this list pretty much covers a lot of ground. I mean, I could have added snow in there maybe for,
Right.
something like that. But there's a lot of AI companies, but this is probably my top five for now. There's a lot of great companies out there. And I encourage you all to just do your research, man. There's a lot of great companies that have yet to become publicly traded that I'm definitely going to be watching. And unfortunately, Anduril, they just did I think he did an interview a month or two ago. Some of these companies, they're getting so much money in private funding that he's even said, I've heard another CEO said that is the CEO of another AI company. They don't have a need to. They don't have a need
To
to.
go public?
Yes. Said
Yeah, yeah.
we don't have a need to. We're getting plenty of money. We're getting these contracts. And a lot of these companies are not wanting to be under the microscope and get the scrutiny that comes with being a publicly traded company. So unfortunately, a lot of the best companies in AI are
They
still,
stay private.
they're private. Like you said
Mhm.
earlier, a lot of the best companies are private. It's a shame that we can't get access to them. But I mean, be watching out, because follow the money. You can't. There are some of these companies that have partnerships with other companies that you can go invest in, and be looking out to get into these companies when they do go private.
Right, right, right. But with that being said, man, let's go ahead and get into our market overview. Obviously, crypto's down. Crypto's down for real right now. But I mean, when you zoom out, it's not bad. It's not that bad, man. We just kind of pausing right here. Like I said, all season hasn't taken off yet, so we getting a little choppiness. Bitcoin is under 100,000. It's actually 96,000 right now. So again, those types of numbers not too long ago were unheard of for Bitcoin. So um, just being on the lookout for what's to go next. I personally think Bitcoin has topped. I think the next major move in the market will be the alt season. I don't think personally, I don't think that Bitcoin will go crazy and probably until the end of the year. And that's really based on a lot of regulatory stuff. Really based on if Trump um goes through with the strategic reserve, all those types of stuff, anything that can potentially be bullish for Bitcoin. I think it's already happened because we were just at 70K. We were
Yeah.
just at 70,000 not too long ago. We're already at 100,000. And we peaked around 109,000. I mean, the top last cycle was about 70K. So I personally think we've hit the top for this cycle for Bitcoin right now. That's just me. So we'll see some choppiness. We'll see some downward momentum coming. In my opinion, I don't know when. I don't have a crystal ball. I don't know when. I could be totally wrong. That's just my opinion. That's just my personal opinion. I do think, like I said, we're gonna see altcoins take off and do some unprecedented damage. Um, in a good way. In a good way. More so damage to Bitcoin dominance, because that's usually when altcoins take off anyway. So I got my eyes on a couple. I won't say what, but I definitely got my eyes on a couple on the market, and when it's time, man, about to go shopping. But yeah, Bitcoin's cool. Crypto in general, we just chopping. We just chopping right now.
Yeah, I mean, over in the stock market, we talked a little bit about off air. We have so much macro news coming out every single day. You have
Hmm.
inflation ticking up. We have tariffs, this trade war, retaliatory tariffs. We have information coming out in regards to DOGE. We have information coming out in regards to DeepSeek and what China's doing in AI. You have news coming out every single day that has been affecting the stock market, and yet even with all of what seems to be a lot of negative macro news, and even the fear and greed index is in fear right now, you still see the S&P 500 hitting all-time highs. I think currently right now we closed at $6,114, and that's just under a 52-week high of 6,128. So S&P 500, top 500 companies in the United States by market cap, the stock market is doing fine right now. The stock market is doing fine overall when you look at it. And I mean, of course, you're having companies like Palantir, who just became recently a mega cap. They have a market cap of 271 billion, stock price of 119. You have a ton of these companies that are running up right now. I don't know what it is. You would think that with a lot of the macro that's coming out, that the stock market will kind of be more shaky.
Right.
I don't know. It's doing okay. It's doing okay. I mean, I can't really say it's not. Year to date, S&P 500 is up 3.96%.
Right. Like I said, man, these meme tokens, man, they really beating the crypto market up, bro. Like I'm over the degeneracy, man.
Y'all, what's y'all fear and greed index on?
But we were at 38 this morning. So we're definitely in fear right now. Which is I'm all good for that. That's good for me from a long-term perspective. But I mean, across the board, like I said, it's been rug after rug after rug with these meme coins, and retail is getting exhausted, bro. So we'll see how that affects the rest of the market and for how long before we start trending up. But man, that's really it for the market overview, man. Definitely want to thank y'all for watching. Thank y'all for coming out supporting the channel. Always give us a like, subscribe, share this with your friends, with your family. Yeah. Any closing words?
Earnings. We got earnings this week. Make sure y'all check out Walmart. They come out on February 20th. Alibaba, it's another one that I'll be looking at on February 20th. Grab. If you've been on X, you've been seeing it all over the place. A lot of people are excited about that. They report earnings on February 21st. And then, of course, the Super Bowl of AI and video, February 26th. So be looking out. Those are some earnings that I'll be looking out for. And yeah, man, that's about it.
Man. Good game, good game. But with that being said, we'll catch you on the next one. Peace.